2010 when we got to the Cup semi and we were defeated by Settle. That's probably, I'd say, if there's any regrets of any cricket match ever, I'd say that one's right up there with it. That's the one that sort of got away, I would say. But anyway, back to the game in particular. 2009 season, new captain, new professional, Darren Broom. Broomy loved a beer, loved a sleaze. Just an absolute all-round good egg. Great guy to captain, great guy to be friends with. Lived with Sudders. Listening to them argue like a married couple was amazing. Had laser eye surgery done on the cheek while he was over here, which is still one of the most amusing weeks ever. Broomy can't see. We're like 2 days away from one of the games. Like, Jesus Christ, Broomy, what are you doing? But anyway, first game of the season, fixture list comes out. Who do we get? Blackburn Northern. Blackburn Northern away. Amma's just left Cherry Tree to go there, so there's going to be a little bit of spice there because we were a bit disappointed that he left, certainly to go to Northern. Felt like it was a massive step back in his career, as it probably proved to be the case. But anyway, we lost the toss. We were asked to bowl first, which I probably would have done anyway, which in hindsight would have been an error. Northern were slow going at the beginning. We were looking like restricting them to sort of 170, 180, and then Naeem absolutely cut loose, and yours truly brought himself on, and Naeem hit 20 off the last over, off my over, including a 6 that he's probably still travelling now over Pleckgate School. Been hit for some enormous 6s in my time, and I'd say that one is definitely top 5. So we were chasing 213. So we opened up with Hadders and Scott, friend. Both of those guys were generally quite slow going. Believe it or not, when you watch Hadders bat now and he's trying to smash every single ball, Hadders was a lot more reserved at that point. He blocked the cover off it for quite a while. I think he got 20 odd off 50 balls. Scott was also slow going. Once we lost both openers and Broomy came in, Broomy started to build his innings, but was looking fairly aggressive. Mark Friend came in at number 4, again struggled a little bit, slow going at that point, very early. Mark was really young at this point, because we're talking like 11 years ago. Really young lad, gave him the freedom to go out there and try and build an innings, and he struggled. So at number 5, Anthony Robinson, my pal, absolute awesome to be captain in the likes of Anthony at that point. It was obviously more senior to me, but we'd had so many good nights out, so many good times, so many great times throughout the youth, playing under his dad for the 3rd team, and yeah, obviously grown up with Anthony. So really felt like he deserved a run in the team. So first game of the season, I was like, you're not playing and batting 8, 9.
Oh, good God, is he still going? My God, I think we better cut that one short here. I tell you what, I'll give you the edited highlights, shall I? I believe it went something like this. One of the craziest run chases ever, I think. Needed 12 to 13 and over. About 10 overs to go. Broomy was an absolute legend, and Robbo was sensational. Naeem smashed 20 or so, but we know about that. And when Robbo got out, there were 8 balls left. We needed 19. I believe Mr. Baldwin hit a 2, then a 6, and then Broomy goes dot, 6, 1, I get a single to get him back on strike, and he finishes with another boundary. Needless to say, cracking win for Cherry, without all the waffle. Brilliant, sounds like a real corker, an absolute belter. Now, last week we had current first-team skipper Mark Hadfield on the show, and he had 1 or 2 things to say about you in particular. Now's your chance to set the record straight. How is it playing under old Hadders at your second stint at the club, eh?
Yeah, this would be a good opportunity to absolutely stick the boot in. No, it's quite interesting. Obviously, I played cricket with Hadders for a long time, and then played against him for a number of years, and now back playing with him again. I'd class him as one of my really good friends in cricket. So I know a lot of his banter is exactly that, and in jest, he is officially one of the worst sledgers in cricket history, I would say. Milk and cookies, and captain waving his fist, and some of the stuff he'd say when I would come out to bat. I would be in stitches with. he probably has got me out as many times in cricket matches. Well, he's probably got me out in the nets a million times. Gets me out in the match all the time. Yeah, he's probably a bit of a nemesis when it came to facing him, and I tended to probably be out by the time his dross came around, playing square cuts to Yorkers and trying to sweep every ball or running down the wicket or whatever it would be. It would probably be not the right way to play him. But yeah, he was captain before I took over in 2009. And he was part of obviously that team for a couple of years, which, as I said, was a cracking side. And then when I've come back in 2019, he's obviously captain, and I think he's got a really tough job, because I just think cricket as a whole has massively changed from years ago with the amount of personnel that are available. I think people who are getting paid in the league now, etc., are players that were nowhere near as good as I would say some of us were back then. And that's not sort of blowing our own trumpets, but I think if you went back to some of the more like quality players in Cherry's ranks, Reedies, Vivas, obviously John Hughes, Gary Bolton, Nigel Robbins, Dave Hayes, all those guys, I think in their pomp would probably be professionals at this point. So that's something he has a bit of a struggle with. But once we get back from lockdown, whether it's probably not going to be 2020 season, let's face it, that's going to be a write-off. But hopefully for 2021, he keeps the motivation high. A lot of the lads who have enjoyed playing the next few years continue. We can hopefully bring in some others, get a reasonable professional, and I see no reason why in the next couple of years that Cherry Tree can't take away some silverware.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week. My thanks to Jon for joining us. Thanks, Jon.
No problem, Nick. It's been an absolute pleasure talking through that. I know I drone on. I actually don't care. But yeah, it's actually been really fun remembering those seasons in particular. Whilst they weren't the most successful in terms of honours. Obviously at early 2000s with winning the league with Cherry and winning the cup with Cherry, and then mid-late 2000s winning the cup and winning the league with Aussie. I would actually still say that the 2009 and 2010 seasons were right up there as some of the most enjoyable cricket I've ever played or been part of. Some absolutely awesome people, awesome families, and they sum up really what's so good about league cricket, and the two cricket clubs that I've been so fortunate to be part of, and now especially being part of the new Cherry Tree family. So hope everyone is staying safe. Try and keep your morale up. I know it's a really difficult time for everybody, but keep smiling, and hopefully if you're still awake at this point after all this, you've enjoyed my blabbing on. Let's go, champs.
So it's so long from him, and it's TTFN from me. Join me again next week when I'll be joined by another Cherry for a walk down Chemory Lane. Until then, I'll catch you on the slip side.